right. You are now being recorded. Don't do anything.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll behave now.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just go around real quick and just say what your real name is, who you played in Hamlet, and what production that was. Like what year. I don't remember what year the one I was in was, but you guys
2017?
2017, yeah.
14.
Okay, cool.
14?
Cool.
It was 14,
Oh my
Colin?
gosh,
14.
that's a long time ago.
It was a minute.
Thanks to dating me, Kubi.
Oh man, yeah, you're so old, Kyle. No, yeah. So I guess I'll start. I am Hannah Kubiak. I am Voices Found's Education and Hospitality Coordinator, and I am your host for this panel. I was in VFR's 2017 production of Hamlet. It was my first professional show ever, and I was Ophelia. Okay, who wants to go next?
Go next.
Caitlin.
Hi, I am Caitlin Kajowski-Compton, and I was in the 2017 VFR production of Hamlet, and I played Queen Gertrude. And I have my crown nearby, just in case, because you never know.
Nice.
All right, who's next? Caitlin, pass it to somebody.
Son, Brandon.
Thanks. Hello, my name is Brandon Hout, and I played Hamlet in the 2017 production of Voices Found Repertory's Hamlet. Kyle.
Hello, I'm Kyle Connor, and I too played Hamlet in the 2014 production at Marquette University as an undergrad in the department, which was, I mean, Kubi did say it seemed like a long time ago, and
Wow,
it kind of
yeah,
feels like
that was a
ago.
long time ago, Kyle.
It's over half a decade, really. Anyways,
Whoa.
Michael.
My name is Michael Cienfuegos-Baca, and I played King Claudius in Marquette University's 2014 production of Hamlet as well. And it was my first Shakespeare production ever. So It was very daunting.
That's amazing. Okay, let's get started with our questions. We could all say this together, actually, probably. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3. Read the play.
You read it. Heard 2 read-its and 2 highlight-its?
I love it.
You just highlight it randomly at random.
This is a whole thing.
You just color the entire page. Is that what you do, Kyle?
Yeah, I like art.
Well, if you're Hamlet, it pretty much is the entire page.
Yeah. After you read it, what else do you guys do just to sort of prepare?
I mean, I wrote down my process because I prepare for meetings as my day job. But I mean, there's a lot of, in some ways it's like do the homework. So I spend a lot of time reading and rereading it to try and pick out what the author says about me, what other characters are saying about me, what I say about myself. And with Gertrude, there's not a lot. So you really have to spend a lot of time trying to read into it. And then it's a lot of me writing my lines on note cards so I can carry them with me everywhere I go. So if I get stuck, I have my lines to work on. If I'm on the elliptical, I have my lines to work on. So they are with me at all times. And then I record them. So when I'm driving in the car back and forth from wherever I go, I can be running my lines with my lines and my cues.
I am a knowledge hoe. I absolutely love being able to know as much as I can about a script, its histories, its words, all of it that I can. And I feel like especially with Shakespeare, it almost becomes a different beast for me personally as an artist when I analyze that script and work through that script, because I was raised on I was born out in the field with Shakespeare. No, I started doing a lot of theater that was classical. That was kind of like my foundation.
For me, within because it was my first Shakespeare production, I went to my professors and I was like, what's the best edition to get? And so I got the Arden edition with so many annotations, we're literally like, that's the script and that's the annotations, because that's what I needed to understand the show, because
yeah.
I just didn't. And that was the first thing, was understanding what I was saying.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely.
Yes,
Yes, and
everyone.
yeah, but also kind of comforting to know that so many other people have had this role, that you get to enjoy the perspective of history, that you are stepping into an historical artifact, and you are not the only one that's done it. Everyone else has probably just been as freaked out as you are to get the script in front of you. That's kind of a big deal. But you're not alone. There's a whole world out there that has also done the same thing.
Right. Once you receive your role, for me, this is something I had wanted to play for a long time, bucket list role. So to be cast in it was not only intimidating, but also like you want to do it justice, but maybe also like take a step back and realize, as Caitlin said, everyone who's come before you. Also the fact that something so old can be turned contemporary, and how to frame it in that context, then maybe there isn't as much weight that you need to give it. Does that make sense?
Something that I appreciated about the way that you tackled Hamlet, Brandon, actually, was that, a lot of people will take that role and be like, oh, to be, oh, not to be. It's just like, it's like this big thing, but you were basically just a kid.
I think for today's audience, to be as casual as you can, to make it relatable as you can, while also, of course, honoring the words, the meter, the poetry of it. You're a college kid whose dad died, like any other role. So.
Yeah, I think, yeah, when I was cast in this show, I was very intimidated. Like, I went home and I told told a family member how it went, and she was like, what, Ophelia, you? And I was like,
Oh.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I'm glad you agree. Not
This kid's just a college kid. Like he's a very relatable character, and I think that inherently that's such a fabulous way to look at this text, or any of these classical texts that seems so unapproachable, is to find like that kind of through line that has the relatability that still sticks with today's audience.
Kyle and I would be in the same lecture halls, and instead of, sad to say, but instead of paying attention to the class, we were sitting there memorizing lines, because we just had that many. I mean, we had so many lines between the two of us that we actually, our line notes became, well, for me, it was a bit of a competition. I really wanted to catch up to Kyle, because I was like, he has 3 times more lines as I do, and he has less line notes. I had to get on it. So it just became this.
I would fight the
thing to see
stage
how
manager. I just remember she would like give me the lineups, and I'd be like, no, I didn't say that. She'd be like, well, I listened to you. And I'd be like, no, I'm 100% positive I didn't say that.
Oh my gosh. Were you a diva, Kyle?
I really was a diva about that. I remember, because it like, I'd love to hear Brandon's thoughts on this, because I feel like there were points when you were working on the show, especially as Hamlet, where it really could consume you, where you would just be like sitting there like thinking thoughts about like murderous uncles, and like, I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. But like, it got to a point in the process with me some nights where I would be so tired from school, and like only this was on my mind, that it would come out, I admit.
Yeah, it consumes you for sure.
Oh yeah.
You live it a little bit. Of course, I've never been in a real sword fight on the street. Don't judge me for that. I don't have an uncle who killed my dad. But I have been a college kid, and I have had a mental breakdown. And I have been in love. So those are all things to latch onto as well.
Mm.
Anyway, carry
I
on.
found myself saying my lines in my sleep. I like woke myself up.
Go for it.
My favorite thing about being directed was working on the scene where Ophelia goes mad. It was so much fun. It was kind of like, our director, Sarah Zapian, said like, okay, so why do you think she loses her mind? And I was like, I don't know, because she's sad. And she's like, well, try it like this. There's a freedom in madness. Like, if you've been trapped all your life, sometimes the only way to escape is to go crazy. And so I was like, oh yeah. And then I would come on stage and I'd be like, I can do whatever I want. It's the king and the queen, and I don't give a care. I'll just go and stand on the throne if I want to. I'll be barefoot and run around in circles and laugh at them and sing little songs and stuff. And I just had a ball out there, and it disturbed others to no end.
It was on my end of it, of being up there while you were going mad. I remember the first time you really let loose to do that, and it really changed the tenor of the scene, of like the vibe in the room. Because a lot of what I had to think of was, this is the persona that you put on when you are in front of people. You are the queen, you are in charge. And that really, like, the way you played with the dynamics of that scene, that's like, these people are not in charge anymore. This is what's in charge. The madness is in charge. It was very interesting to see that change and what you did with it.
It was hammered home to me to read the shape of the text on the page differently, to plow through to the end of the last word or the last foot or syllable and hit that and find something that resonated into that. Once I started doing it, I started to find real emotion was coming out of it, and real like fragmentation of thought, which Hamlet has a lot of, disjointed and panicked and confused. And I found that bit, like, hit that last word, take a breath, plow through the whole line on the page, go to the next one, really helped bring something different that I wasn't expecting to the character. Kind of mirroring what Hannah said was, there's freedom in madness. And of course, Hamlet isn't mad. You can debate that. I saw that Hamlet was not actually mad. He's putting on a show. He's feigning madness. So the director allowed me to take certain liberties in the first scene with Polonius, where Hamlet is interacting with him, and I could do things a little bit differently every night, and I did. I added little, like, tiny surprises within reason. I'm not one of those crazy method actors that's gonna do something out of the ordinary and mess up the show. But maybe I'd write something in paint on the floor, or I'd put a dab of paint on their face. I'd lay upside down in a chair. That was a lot of fun. And one of my favorite things was trying to imbue modern day memes into some of the lines, and they worked well in certain instances. You had to be there.
Our director had asked us to do paraphrasings and really making sure the text was our own. And so every line really was our own words. And it's like, how would this be affecting you? And a lot of times it was the paraphrasing. Within her paraphrasing, she's like, I don't want you to talk like a king in modern day text. I want to know how Michael would say these words, to a point where it's no longer you putting on a performance, or even if it is, as Caleb was saying, the performance is how to be a king or how to present yourself in public. It's not, okay, I'm portraying Claudius, who is portraying to be a king, who's doing that. No, it's putting yourself on stage and opening yourself up raw and making Shakespeare's elegant words my stumbling, bumbling mess of a college student's words. And bringing those two worlds together really, I think, made the character more mine.
Does anybody have any like favorite moments from doing this show?
Look,
Kyle. Well, you know
Kyle,
what?
please.
Also, I do
Please,
not have
Kyle.
the upgraded Zoom. So we have like 4 minutes left. So we can either like leave and I'll start a new meeting or
I
I've
feel
already
like
wasted 15 seconds on this.
One night as he's walking up the stairs, he's got this humongous billowy cape. It just gets stuck on a chair, and like from the back, all you can see is him going. He just like swirls away into the darkness.
Oh man.
Stupid boots because they got stuck with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
God.
What did I walk in on?
Uh,